welcome one and all to another exploration into the world of science, technology, engineering and maths with Intel's Mini Scientist. I'm Phil, and over the next little while we're going to bring you through another lesson plan that you can follow along with in school, at home or wherever you like. These videos and experiments are designed so you get to decide how deep into it you want to go. You might want to just watch this at home and follow along. That's fine. You might want to do a little bit with your nan. That's fine. You might want to do it with your whole class. Invent a new technology. Start selling it. Save the world and become millionaires. That's also fine. Either way, we'll walk you through each lesson step by step so you can decide your own way through it all. No pressure. You make the choice. And we're not trying to make everyone into a scientist. We're trying to show you by working scientifically it makes your life easier. But remember, at the end of the day, you're in charge. And seamlessly, that's what today's lesson is called. You're in charge. Boom. Nailed it. Okay, so what are we up to today then, Phil, I hear you ask? Well, great question there, buddy. Today's work fits into the energy and forces strand. Now, you may have heard these words before. Now, force is the push or pull applied to an object, and it can move a stationary object or stop a moving object. Now, force can also change the speed and direction of an object. The ability or the capacity to do work is called energy, and the more energy that you have, the more work that you can do, and it comes in lots of different forms. Kinetic energy is moving energy, potential energy is stored energy, there's chemical energy, heat energy, and more. But today we're going to look at magnetic energy and electrical energy, but not in ways that you may have imagined before. Okay, so close your eyes. Picture your room. It's pretty messy and there's stuff everywhere. Still can't find that sock, and your folks are screaming at you and starting at you. Please clean your room. Imagine you could clean it all just with the flick of a switch. You hit the button and bang, the dirt is gone. Intel does exactly this with computer chips, but we'll get to that later. But first we're going to learn about static electricity, magnets, and how you can take charge to do the work for you. Behold, one of my favorite things, magnets. Because of these, I now have a magnetic personality, and you will be attracted to the excitement that these wondrous blue and red rods of power bring. And their power comes from the charge that exists at each end. They're north and south poles, generally north being negative, both beginning with N, and south being positive. Okay, first question for you and your buddy. What do you think will happen if I put a north and another north pole together? So, north, red, and another north. Have a guess, make a prediction, and I'll try and push them together, and... oh! Repulsion! There you go, just like me and a cucumber sandwich, they push apart. I don't like them. So next, have another question with your buddy. Let's go and think about what happens if we put a north and a south pole together. What do you think will happen that time? So we've got a red and a blue, push them together, and... hey, click, attraction. So, they come together. Now, finally, based on what we've seen so far, what do you think will happen when we put two south poles together? Again, make a prediction. So we've got blue and blue. We've done red and red and red and blue. So what's blue and blue? I'm going to put them together, and more repulsion. Okay, so it seems like opposite charges attract and the same charges repel. So from that, we're going to take a look at static electricity and charge. Now, static electricity is the buildup of a charge on the surface of an object. And again, this charge can be used to repel or attract objects. We're going to do some testing, experimenting, and recording of some materials to see how chargeable they are. For this experiment, you will need a balloon, a cloth to rub against it, or you can rub it against your head, and 5 different materials or bowls that we have. In this bowl, we have some tissue, you'll see in front of it there. In this one, we have some tin foil. In this one, we have some Rice Krispies, which I'm going to there, which I will promise not to eat during the middle of the experiment. The Rice Krispies. We have some leaf, and then we also have some styrofoam from a cup that we've broken up, that we've taken from the bin. Now, what we're going to do is we're we're supposed to do. We're going to do some tests, but we're also going to record things. So we're going to write down our sections. Now, again, you can write down your own notes, or you can use the lesson plans that we have, and you have the sheets that you can fill out here. I've got Rice Krispies, I've got leaf, and I've got styrofoam foam. Okay, I'm going to put a line across. I'm going to down, 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 and we're going to say charged, yes or no. Okay, so we have our pen, we have our sheet ready to go. Okay, so let's give it a go. So we've got our balloon, we've got our cloth, we're going to rub it again. Now, you could rub it against your hair as well or anything else if you want, but we're rubbing it against this woolen cloth to get all the things lined up in one direction to create a charge on the outside of it. I'm going to tip out some tissue that we've cut out. And what do we think? Let's make a prediction on your sheet. Do you think that this balloon, when it's charged up, is going to be able to pick up the tissue? Yes or no? You made your predictions? Okay, well, let's give it a go. Let's do our test. So if we do down here and we see, and... oh, most definitely. Check that out. Look. So we have tissue stuck on it. So the charge is able, so tissue is able to be attracted to this. Good start. Okay, so we should write down yes for that. I didn't make a prediction, so I'll make sure. For the tin foil then. Okay, let's do the prediction for the tin foil this time. So tin foil, again, we have it. We've put it up into little bits. It's made of metal. We're going to put a charge on the balloon. Do we think, make a prediction, is it going to be attracted by a charged balloon? Chat to your buddies, see what they say. Okay, I'm going to get another balloon here. I'm going to charge it up. Rubbing it again. Make a prediction. Metal, we use metal and electricity. I think yes. I think we're going to be able to put a charge on this. Okay, so observe, where do you think metal is in around us? So we've got it. We're going to put it down. Yes or no? Prediction. Wow. Okay, that's flying up. Woo. Okay, look at that. That's all of it. That's like a disco ball. We can make a disco ball. We could. Okay, we won't. We haven't time. Okay, but look at that. Look how much charge. So yes, really, I'm going to put it down there. So really able, lots of charge comes. So tinfoil's really getting attracted. So we're going to put that there. So I said yes, tinfoil, and yes with my prediction. So that one's okay, good. Okay, next, Rice Krispies. Once you snap, crackle, and pop, you can't stop, I believe. So, Rice Krispies, blue balloon this time. We're going to rub it again. Make your prediction. What do you think is going to happen? Is the Rice Krispies made of rice? Is that going to be able to be attracted by static electricity? Make your prediction. Happy birthday, balloon. Happy birthday to Rice Krispies. Are we ready? You're going to put it down. Prediction, yes or no? I don't know, actually, with this one. I'll probably say no. Okay, we're going to put it down and... ah! No way. Awesome. Look at that. Hey, look at that. That's awesome. That's so cool. I didn't know Rice Krispies. Look, they can even dance around. That's very cool. Okay, so Rice Krispies can give you a charge. Fantastic. I wasn't. There's everything attracted to this. Okay, let's try something else. What have we got this time? Leaves. Okay, so previously we had stuff made of tissue, made of metal, made of rice. So this time, okay, we'll get another balloon now. This time, another prediction. Do you think this leaf that we've cut up into lots of bits, is that going to be attracted to static? Like everything so far has? Yeah, maybe. Okay, make a prediction, yes or no. Is it going to be? Or writing stuff down, have a chat with your buddy. This is all what we're trying to do. Make predictions together. So, charged balloon. We're going to put it down on top and... yes! It is! This is impressive. Well, maybe a little bit. Or is it? No, little bits. Here we go. You can even hear it sounds like rain. Maybe what is it inside that is made up of? So it's dried leaves. So maybe it's the stuff. It's like, I'm surprised at this. Leaves can be attracted to this. This is fantastic. You can see it all kind of lined up along there. So even dried leaves are being attracted to this. This is fantastic. So that is I suppose we better trust the styrofoam as well. Okay, so styrofoam. Now styrofoam, I have a definite, you've seen, like sometimes this stuff just sticks to your jumper and gets stuck in. Like actually, I'll use the leaf one again. I'll give this a rub. So the other side, we're gonna rub again. Rub. I wonder if the leaf, maybe it's a test you could do yourselves. Maybe if the leaves were just fresh, would there be a difference? I don't know. Okay, ready to go? Let's move it in here and test and... aha, look at that. Let's see. Wow, okay. So we have it sticking to us again. Awesome. So static electricity seems to be able to attract lots of different things. So it's very, very useful. This is this is surprising. I didn't know. Like, this is a study you could do. What else could you test? What other little bits? Because you want to make sure that the material is small enough that it can be light enough. Because the charge that's on these kind of things isn't that big. It's a relatively small charge. So all of this stuff is we've created static electricity and a little bit of a mess. But that's fine. That's what all experiment is. Now, I did say earlier on, could you imagine if you could flick a switch in your room and bang, all the dirt would be gone? Well, let's try and do that now. This is a little mini tester of that experiment. It shows how we can clean and separate a mixture of objects using static electricity. So if I clean this stuff out of the way a little bit, I'll just make a little bit of a space. And yes, I will clean this up later, don't worry. Make it up there, and we have a little bit of a space. And in the middle here, I have some salt and I have some pepper that I'm going to put down there. And I'm going to take my sheet and I'm going to, just a little bit of a plate, and I'm going to put some salt on this. And then I'm going to put some pepper, the black bits, on that. And then I'm going to just mixing them together there. Excellent. This is it. Mixture peppered with pepper. Okay, so while I rub this together and build up a little bit of charge, do you think that both the salt and the pepper will be attracted to the balloon, or just the salt, or just the pepper? Make a prediction and then let's give it a go. So charging it up, lining up the charge. Okay, so bring it down and let's see what will happen. Oh, okay. I can hear stuff. Yeah, I can definitely hear it. It's like it sounds like the rain. I'm just moving it gently over and back and forth, not touching it so I don't just splodge it into it. And, hey, look at that. Stuff it. Now, there are little bits of salt on this, all right, but it's mostly the pepper, most like the black stuff that's on there. You can see like there's black pepper, 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 pepper. On the edges here, there's a little bit of salt, but it's mostly pepper that's been attracted. That's very cool. So it's also like maybe the size of the particles, but the type of material that they are. And this is really interesting because imagine if you could do this or use this for cleaning. Well, this is exactly what happens in Intel. They actually use charge to clean microchips. It can lift dirt off the chip without damaging it. That's awesome because you don't have to touch it. You can just do it. That's amazing. You know what I mean? I bet you didn't even realize what also is amazing is that you can charge liquids as well. Okay, so I have another piece of apparatus. Now you can do this again yourselves. What this is here, let's bring that in front, is a funnel. So a funnel is for getting like a wide amount of liquid into a small. And we've put a little bit of white tack at the bottom there so a really small stream will come out. So what we're going to do here now is we have some water and we're going to see that static electricity can move liquids like this tiny stream of water. So I'm going to take the water. Watch if there we go. I'm going to pour this water in here. Oh, the sound is kind of making me want to go to the bathroom. But anyway, doesn't matter. So I'm going to charge this up. Charge it up. And a bit of charge on this. Rub, 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 rub. More charge add to it. And we move it over beside the water. And look at that. I add charge to the balloon. And the water gets... So it means that a liquid is able to be charged. There you go. Move it. That's awesome. But all of these wonderful, attractive experiments require a lot of balloon rubbing. That's not practical. Your jumpers would be wrecked, or you'd have no hair left if you kept rubbing it against them. So therefore, there has to be another way to generate charge, and we're going to have a look at that right now. So I'm going to carefully move this over. Nothing could possibly go wrong. There we go. Super. Okay. So we got that out of the way, and we go over there. And now, the last little bit that we have, I'm going to I have been creating a bit of a mess, and even with the pepper, and that really is making me kind of want to pee. So I'm going to just unscrew this and pour it all in. Shh. Excellent. Okay. So with this now, you can actually create an electromagnet. So here we have the makings of an electric magnet. For this, you will need some steel nails, some copper wire, a battery, and some staples. So we have them over here. There's my staples. I'll move them in here. I'll move this stuff out of the way so we can all see what's going on. We got my staples. I got some paper clips. I got other bits here. So first, steel nails. So when I hold this and I touch this against the paper clips or anything else like that, it doesn't pick them up. See, I mean, I'm touching it against them, I'm pressing it into it. There, nothing's happening, nothing taking up. So what we're going to try and do now is take some copper wire, and I've already started this process, and I'm going to wrap it around the steel nail. So I'm wrapping it around here in a coil. And what we're doing here now is we're building our electromagnet. An electromagnet is using electricity to create magnetism. Because when you have an electric current flowing around, you create a magnetic field. And you're making it stronger by having this copper wire around it, because it gets added and added and added. So the more wraps of wire you have, and this can take ages, and that's a little bit neat. So successfully and neatly earlier on, I made this one, which is the same nail. There you are, same size that we have it there, with the copper wire wrapped around it and around it. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect it to a normal 9-volt battery. And what we do when we do that is we touch them off there. Now it's going to close this up, so we make the circuit so positive to negative, and we have the copper wire, the nail. I'm just going to hold them out. So we have all the bits. So we have that current going round and round and round this. And now, when I touch, hopefully this works, when we touch this off this, hey, look, see? There we go, look at that. We have the staples come up because we are creating a magnetic field, and now the steel nail is magnetized. Now, if we try it again, take them off, and we try and actually connect it with something heavier and see, hey, very good. Yeah, look, we can pick two or three of them. That's awesome. So again, we've built our own, and this is exactly, have you ever seen a scrapyard where you have a giant magnet that goes over and goes down on top of a car, poof, sticks to it, and it moves it over somewhere else? That's an electric magnet. You switch it on, the power runs through this metal, big metal dish. It becomes magnetized, and you're able to lift stuff up, switch off the power, becomes demagnetized, and it drops. So you can literally flick a switch and you're in charge. Electricity and electrical energy is everywhere in our world today. And today's experiments show you another aspect of how other things can behave around it. Understanding electricity, how it behaves, and how we can use it is very important in today's world. To talk to us a little bit about it, it's Clara Zay. Hey Clara, how are you getting on?
Good, how are you? Good to see you.
Not so bad. We've been doing some experiments inside in the lab.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, no, they've been fun. But before we get to that, I just thought we might have a little chat with you and find out what you're doing.
Yeah, so I am a researcher here in UCD Dublin. I work in the School of Chemistry. I'm a PhD student, and I work with glowing particles and lasers, which is really exciting.
Oh, okay, so 3 things that I want to get to. There's a PhD, glowing stuff, and lasers. Tell me, first of all, a little bit about the PhD. What's that?
I've been in college for about 7 years now, and I still have 3 more to go, so it's going to be a while. But I just love science. It just fascinates me.
Cool. So you've gone from primary school to secondary school to doing undergraduate. Now you're doing a master's, and now you're doing a PhD. You must really love science.
Yes, I love science. It's just so fascinating to me. I just love that every single day I can do something new, and I can see things that nobody has ever done or seen before, and that's just really exciting.
Yes,
yes,
that sounds
yes.
clear. There's nothing else I could add to
Yeah.
that. So you're talking about new things nobody ever seen or done before, and you said glowing stuff with lasers. What do you do with glowy stuff and lasers?
Yes, so I work with nanoparticles and how you can find them and identify them in a mixture of water or other liquids in all around us. And if you shine a laser on them, they will glow, and they will glow in different colours depending on what's around them.
So these are like nano, but they're really small.
Really tiny, yes. They're less than 100 nanometers, which is really tiny. So you need special microscopes to look at them because they're just too tiny.
So you're basically working at like the cutting edge of like new science. What's it like coming in to study here every day?
It's very exciting, and sometimes it works great and sometimes it doesn't work, which can be frustrating, but it gives you opportunities to learn a lot of new things and to see and try out things that nobody has ever tried out before.
So you're testing stuff, and we were doing some testing in the lab earlier on with some electricity, and we were seeing how good it was. Kind of fascinating. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I love the experiments we were doing, and I think electricity sure is really cool, and it's easy to forget that it's all around us every single day. As you can imagine, Intel uses a lot of electricity to run its campus, and there are a lot of electrical engineers working for Intel in a big team, making sure that the electricity is running properly and safely 24/7.
Well, like, I knew they used a lot of electricity. I was actually chatting with some of the electrical engineers there about. I actually was telling them fantastic jokes. What is an electrical engineer's favorite ice cream?
I don't know. Give us a scoop.
The scoop. Oh, that's probably a better joke. It's chocolate or chocolate. Like, you know. Okay, look, I get it. Your joke scoop was probably better than mine, but let's get back to the electricity in terms of, like, tell me why Intel needs just so much electricity.
Well, each fab has a dedicated energy center, and there are 4 main parts in each one. There's the chillers, the cooling towers, the boilers, and the generators. So, Phil, can you guess what the chillers are for?
Yeah, okay, I'll make a good, an educated guess of keeping everything chilled and relaxed.
Yeah, kind of like that. So it keeps the machinery in the fab at a cool temperature, because otherwise they would get too hot and not work efficiently. And the water that is used to cool the machinery becomes very hot during the process as the heat transfers from the machinery to the water. So this hot water then goes to the cooling towers where it gets cooled down.
So you've got water coming in, kind of hits the machinery, the heat transfers to the water, and then that gets washed away.
Yeah,
it
does. And then the boilers in Intel use natural gas, and these are used to heat the offices and all water on campus. They also work with the chillers to make sure that the clean room is maintained at the right temperature every day.
Okay, so it's a big system, and you see, like, heat coming in and being transferred and used in other places. But as good as that sounds, what would happen if all of the electricity went out? Say a storm happened and just the electricity went out.
Well, that's why we have the generators, which are very important, because they supply electricity to the factory and kick in as a backup if any external electricity supplies or fails, like after a storm. They kick in and then you have electricity again.
Okay, so you've got all this electricity being needed, you've got good systems, you've got backups, but how does a big company like Intel make sure it's doing what it does without harming the environment?
Yeah, so you're actually right. By 2030, Intel planned to achieve 100% renewable energy globally on the whole world. So as you can imagine, Intel will be looking for loads of people with big and bright ideas on the future of electricity and energy. So I'm guessing everybody watching this has the same feeling about the environment as the workers at Intel. We all care about our responsibility to the future of our planet, so we can still live here in 50 or 100 years and have it nice.
Yeah, okay, so, and even nicer, because we want to leave it better, like, do more work to make it cooler. All science is about improving our lives.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks very much, Clara.
Thank you.
That was all pretty cool, but let's reflect and think about what we've learned today and also what we can do next. You should be now familiar with static electricity and electromagnetism and the attractive and repulsive forces that they can generate. You've seen that we can create attractive and repulsive forces ourselves using everyday objects and by adding electric charge to rubbing or connecting a battery. You've also seen that some materials are affected by these forces, but others aren't, and that these forces can be used for practical purposes, like separating or picking up objects, and someday, fingers crossed, cleaning our rooms with the flick of a switch. But even let's think about that problem, really. How might we be able to get there? Maybe you should work with your buddy on designing a new system that you could use to put a charge on your clothes and then fire them away. Think about what we'd have to make our clothes out of, what materials, but what would it be like to wear something out of those materials? It's practical things that we need to think about. This experiment could be the starting point for you to jump off in lots of different directions, but it's up to you to choose which one. That's one of the most enjoyable things about exploring science, technology, engineering and maths, is that you never know where you're going to end up because discovery is an adventure. Places like Intel want people to work for them that come up with solutions that other people may have never come up with before. And sometimes that means thinking about problems in different ways. The opportunities are there for you if you want them. You could even invent a biscuit-making flying robot dog. Actually, that sounds awesome. I need to write that one down. Just remember, at the end of the day, you choose what you want to be when you grow up because you're in charge. And speaking of charge, don't forget to turn off the lights when you go home. We have to be as sustainable as possible and not waste things when it happens. Join us next time on Intel Mini Scientist. We'll explore even more science, technology, engineering and maths. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye.